We'll give it one more try. How's it sounding now? So at least this time, my internet was saying I had 5 bars. Now it's not lying and it's saying I have 1 bar.
Okay.
That's a good sign, right?
Yeah. Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Is that maybe it? Like, is it just because maybe so much is going on in your house, or
Not likely.
okay? Because I
Nope.
can't host, right? Because
I'll double check. Nope, my dad's not even on like World of Warcraft or anything, so nope.
You can just check from your bedroom. Okay, sure.
I think we're live again. Tell us if we're live. Can you guys hear us again?
Technical difficulties. All Alex's fault, by the way.
I should prep a text thing. Add text.
Oh, Discord popped again.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, so we have now flooded Discord 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
How do you spell difficulties?
Actually, DIFFCULTIES.
All right, I had it right. Sure.
Oh, we're getting some responses. Yep, we're back. Maybe it might be YouTube. It might be Alex's computer. Nothing's dropped on my end, but we'll see what happens.
All right. I have us a technical difficulty sign in case of emergencies now.
Oh my
I will now
gosh.
hide it. Flash, flash, flash.
All right, where were we? Let's try to pick up. Let's piece together.
3 maybe it just really doesn't want us to talk about these 3 the 3 anniversary promos.
3 cursed promos.
The 3 cursed promos. They have been cursed already. They've been delayed by 5 months.
So these were the anniversary ones, right?
Yeah. So the short answer, I don't know if this actually got explained in the video, was these were the anniversary promos. Sid usually sells them as a kit, but he feels wrong selling them now 5 months later. So they're going to be added on for free into the organized play kits as bonus rewards.
But it is still randomized, right? Like, so you have to show up to OP or organized play and then hopefully get a pack and then hopefully open it up, right?
Yes, correct.
Well, I guess everyone gets a pack for going to organized play.
Yes.
So depending on your play group, you'll probably can all get them if you're doing enough GEO registered, HCG sanctioned, and organized play.
Yeah. Yep. And now's the perfect time to, ask your local store to do more. You can do more events. Why not?
Possible. But I was saying, like, the tsunami looks very nice in the foil because that's something that got missed, as well as we're getting a new tsunami in Origins. So it's nice to have that old one. And then the other two, I could understand their positioning in like the anniversary of Genesis, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, the Malevolent Spirit is definitely an interesting card that could definitely see some play down the road. But I think we've pretty much determined that Essence Drain is, aside from having core in the artwork before core was a real thing, before core was printed. I think core has been around for a while, just wasn't printed right away. Is that correct?
Yes, as far as I've been told, right?
Yeah. But we pretty much declare that Essence Drain is over. It's just too much.
Pretty off. It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Right. So
it's expensive.
As far as expensive to cast and to use, it is still a swift drain though.
No, it's action.
Oh, is it action speed? It is action speed, isn't it? It is. Yeah. So, but I mean, still pretty cool. I like this little history of like why these arts were chosen. And yeah, I'm excited to try to get my hands on some of them.
That's fair. Which one do you want the most?
Probably the tsunami. I think it's very much like a quintessential card for Genesis as a whole right now. Like, it's been one of those cards that from the beginning is very strong, very consistent in what it does, very useful in a lot of things, right? So yeah. I'm definitely excited to see it come back in Origins as well. So
that's fair. No, I agree. I think that where you can see the other two were in there with the traditional why they exist.
Yeah.
The Tsunami was definitely there for the powerful piece from Maeda to fill that spot.
Yeah, I would say everyone will be looking for the Tsunami first. But more foils. Here we go.
Shall we go on to the tough question?
The tough question. Which is the tough question?
All right. Well, we only had one question sent in the the event server, so we might as well go over it. So YZR asks, I'm curious if you can provide a quick comparison between Genesis and Sorcery TCG, the recent launch and Kickstarters. I can't help but notice it's very similar to Genesis in general setup, so I'd love to know a comparison and contrast. Do you see this being a distinct competitor for Genesis? And if so, what is the cocktail napkin pitch to why a consumer should choose Genesis over Sorcery? So let's start at the beginning. So before we did the live stream, me and Will sat down to 2 games of Sorcery to test it out, so it'd be easier for us to answer how it compares. And it is nothing like Genesis, is the short answer at all.
There is a grid.
The grid. It's not even the same amount of spaces, though, on said grid.
So it's a smaller grid.
Yeah.
You do place minions on the grid, and you can move those minions around the grid.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there's a lot of things that are just fundamentally, I find that, and we said this too, fundamentally we're different enough.
Oh, no, I think so directly. Everything that you just said is true, except every single one of those statements has a restrictions. You can play summons on a grid only on an Atlas spot. You can move summons on a grid only on an Atlas spot. Right?
Right.
That's why I honestly believe that it is so dramatically different that there's no positions or awareness. It's true.
There's no rotation. There's no
direction doesn't matter.
Yep. There's no stack interactions. They're fundamentally very much different games. And there is a lot of, there's a lot of cool backstory and a lot of cool reasonings for why this game exists. Things that are like the artwork, the creator's desire to see something like this happen, or his own love for TCGs. Mm-hmm. But who was I watching? I think it may have even been a kitchen table video, and they're like, Genesis is doing this direction, going this way, doing a very much more competitive version, right? Trying to be very competitive minded and do the organized play and being that type of game.
I blending. I honestly think Sorcery is more akin to a board game or a living card game. Those are really more where it sits at.
You got your friend group over. Maybe you want to break out the game or whatever. Maybe just 2 of you, are playing, and you're just sort of playing a board game, like you say, right? It's not going to be, and I think I've even stated that they're not going to be competitively focused. Or
I said no organized play, that they're not looking at it at all right now.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. So.
I think I'll even say this is hearsay because I personally didn't hear it from the people. This is just from
what's being
kitchen table said. Yeah, I think they said they're only going to do 1 set a year. But yeah, I'd be honest, like when we played it, it just felt like it did feel a lot like it was way closer to Magic the Gathering than to anything like Genesis.
Well, I think it's taking a lot of its inspirations from Magic.
Yeah.
A lot of Eric's inspiration is from his experience with Magic being part of it, and even the artists are they're old Wizards of the Coast artists. They're from Dungeons and Dragons, from Alpha Magic, Beta Magic time period, and even some horror, right? Mm-hmm. Artists that are in there as well.
Well, he leans into it too within the game, right? Like he literally just uses terminology for Magic. Yep, just because you can. Why not? I don't see why not. Like some games do avoid it, because for a while Magic did also have a license on it, right? Certain terminology.
But I mean, very pretty game. Very, I hope to play it someday as well. But from what I've seen, it's not the same as being in the battle of Genesis, where okay, I'm playing a summon over here. I can use its rotation, its maneuverability, its abilities, right?
Yeah, there's no planning out. There's really no
Yeah.
planning out positioning, from what I said. And that's maybe an overstatement because you do plan where your alt this is gonna go, but pretty much once you've placed your atlas, we know where you're gonna summon. It's all along those lines.
Hmm.
Where when I place a summon, I don't. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna place it. I need to place it and place it in the spots where it's safe, where an opponent can't get to it. All those threats, but in sorcery, you're gonna place a summon and you're just be like, well, mine's bigger than yours. I'll put it right in front of yours.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, I agree with Ben Yentz here. Genesis feels like a chess match. Sorcery feels like a TCG D&D. I would agree.
Yeah. I don't think that's not like, I think that's what
It's
they're
not a
going
bad
for.
thing. No, yeah, it's not a bad thing at all. As long as you stick with the goal. I think the best things about sorcery is where they allow that random element, the unique
Mhm.
interactions, like the 20 where they graded the board essentially. They made it a 20
Yeah.
numbers, and you can randomly summon stuff into positions. Those unique aspects, that's my favorite part about it on the gameplay side.
Yeah. And they have some really cool effects and some big effects, but both of our games came down to sort of one card being played and then a big effect happening, and sort of the game spiraled out from there, right? So that could just be balancing.
I'm doing an Alex Rage. This is a call. I'm calling out whoever made the rules about moving the Atlas cards. That is, I'm just gonna say bull. Short answer. Will played a land card. I guess they're just called Atlas cards, right?
Atlases, yeah.
Played an Atlas card that allowed him to move one of my Atlas cards, and it just killed my whole board.
But you did stack all your things on there. Like
Sure.
it was a perfect scenario type of thing that to happen, but it was pretty nutty.
But a card that gives you resources should not kill three summons. That like Will called it was like, should we just call it here? And then I said, well, we'll play it through. But there was no reason to play it through.
Right. But I mean, they've done well. They blew out their Kickstarter goals.
Yeah.
Their stretch goals are already happening. The money is definitely piling in. And I think they had some very unique things with that artwork.
I want to add, it might change now. One thing we gotta give them props to, they are also saying, sort of doing the Genesis thing where they're not the game, but more of the, we care about our game. We don't necessarily care about the big fancy foils and stuff going into the packs and products. We'll look at that secondary.
It was like the third stretch goal or something before they had foils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they're not rushing, and I think that's the right approach. Never rush. Yes, I agree, Ben. It's definitely a great kitchen table game. Yeah. All right. Well, we've exhausted all of our one topic.
All of our one topics. We had our technical difficulties.
That gave us a good 10 minutes. Oh.
Have you? So it's been a week, and you have your Thursday. No, your Friday. So you participate in Dragon World's Friday night stuff, right?
So we have Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Right. And anyone bringing in...
Sorry, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday now.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Yeah. So do you have anyone bringing in 4 Epiphany decks? Did you see anybody playing Epiphanies?
Not a single one. But so it comes back to our communities. Like, our communities before Epiphany was restricted, they didn't play Epiphanies. Right?
Right.
So our communities, I don't see this pretty much change anything at all. They were not interested in playing Epiphany to begin with.
I know Sid did. He did the thing. He brought the Epiphanies into the Kuhn deck that he ran in the tournament, the championship. And from what I saw and witnessed, it was sort of a bit of both. Like, either he had the Epiphany early on and he just drew in what he needed, or at the end, he sort of drew at the end where he sort of he was already in a good position. Mm-hmm. So he was allowed to draw some more cards. I did get some feedback. There's a couple games that I hadn't watched yet, So I want to follow up and see those. But from Sid himself, he said it was like, yeah, I mean, it felt good when you had it early, and sort of either way, like kind of your thing point, right? Which was if you were to draw that or another substrike, which would it rather be? And my point is that if you have the epiphany, you could draw two substrikes or a bolt shot and a substrike at the same time. But we need more testing on it, right?
For sure. Adam, we're talking about the four epiphany restriction, not the old one. Grandma Brand killed our locals on Saturday. Grandma Brand? What's Grandma Brand? With only 4 piffs. Who's Grandma Brand? Steve was gonna have to let us know who Grandma Brand is.
Maybe it was the permanent. Is it permanent branding?
Like the permanent branding?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still very like
Sid Williams, Grandma Brand.
All right, there we go. Sid is great. Okay. Cool. I did not know that actually. So there we go. Here we go. Good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, I think you and I both agree that it's still very strong.
For sure.
But we just need to show it. And if you guys are watching, if you're if you've played anything and you've ever had those situations with Epiphany, we just need to, as a community, if we want to make change, we have to showcase it actually happened.
For sure. Definitely do.
Yeah, it happened on his live stream, which is great. And this is something that helps too, right? Like it helps to have this stuff visual so we can go back and there's evidence, physical evidence there to make it change. Because Steve and I had that chat on Thursday, and it was great that we talked about, how we have been pushing this for a while. We are now seeing some response. We may not be happy that the response that we got, but it doesn't mean that we stop and just say, okay, well, whatever, we're going to keep going to keep trying to figure out what other ways. First, get rid of Epiphany, then migrate to Foresight.
I don't know about that one. Foresight's a bigger risky boy. A lot more potential for draw, but you just, that one Oten ruining the stack.
You just have to let the first... Are they going to Oten to the Foresight, though? No.
Yeah, you Oten to the Foresight. Because they have to put all their attacks on first. Once the... And they're like, I'm keeping the attack on the stack. That's not foretelling anything. Anything big's coming.
You do give away a little bit about what you're doing, but... I mean... My fear with the Foresight, and I haven't played with it or practiced with it, but is the extra step of math. I guess you have to kind of get used to what is that number that you want to Foresight on? Is it 4 cards? Is it 5 cards? Are you trying to go all out? Like, how do you calculate for what cards you need left in your deck? And I'm sure it's just a number and a sequence thing that you just, once you figure it out, it's like, boom, you're good to go. All the stack stuff in Origins.
Draw big, then cancel out with a negation card. So you're going to cancel out your own stuff? Or what you...
Cancels everything else.
Cancel everything else.
Yeah, I mean, without giving too much away, JC, for future league stuff, but there is... Yeah, I can see where Foresight's still a thing, right? Cancel the
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's still in a different vein where you need to get up to your opponent, then do all this. Where the Epiphany would prep all the stuff ahead of time, and then you'd go win. Where Foresight doesn't do that.
Yeah, and I think you can still do it before too, right? Like you could say, you could, if you have the teleport first thing, you could teleport in, right? And then try to do, if you had some wind slashes, or if you had the teleport and the Foresight and maybe a wind slash or two, you could teleport in, start doing some wind slashes, or try to do an Epiphany. They try to get out or do something, do your wind slashes, get your draw. Like I think there is some avenues where you can still have a pretty busted turn.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. But it's the setup versus the Epiphany is the setup and the win con, right? You know, JC's in the chat, but you know, why JC in the chat when he could join the live stream itself?
Oh, we're gonna bring in our first guest.
Our first guest, John Rayner. Oh no!
That was bad timing. Are you actually bringing him in?
I sent him a link, but he's not. I don't know if he's actually on Discord. I sent you a link, JC, if you want to join us onto the chat. We're also at 8 viewers. Two more viewers, and I'll throw out a prize.
It's dinner time. Oh,
you can eat on.
Why are you on YouTube then? That was bad. Hey, Steven, did you see the beginning of our stream? That was really bad. Okay, so no one played Epiphany. Anyone playing Pillars at your store? Or at,
we had
Dragon World.
I can go through it. We had essentially the championship deck, Burst deck, Core, sort of a deviation from the Alderaan deck, and then two not worth mentioning decks.
Yeah, that chord, like Alderaan, or Ruben's deck is starting to make the rounds. I think people generally like Core's design, as like a character, and yeah, it just has those kind of cool tools from Axon as well as Chaos, and it just kind of is a different, because for the longest time Axon and Chaos just was Rain doing Rain things like OTK with Shadow Claws, Dark branding and stuff, right? So the Core control or tempo deck is really kind of a cool concept, and I think people are starting to clue on, and it's got a lot of fun interactions
for sure.
What's Adam saying?
Oh, come on, they were great.
Oh, was it one of Adam's decks?
Well, they were borrowed from Adam. Adam was actually playing the Kun deck, but one was essentially a sealed deck, and then the other one was a starter deck.
Starter decks.
Yeah, starter deck. Core has a decent balance where Rain and Kendra just their HP is so low, they're very swingy. That's
they have to be, right? They have to swing because they can't sustain taking damage, or they have to. Or they're expending all their cards and their resources in hand to counter what's happening on the board. So,
if you're, because you said Grandpa or Grandma keeps winning with the Kun deck, you want to beat the Kun deck, play a very decent deck, play Core, run some Otons, run some Chrono Walkers, Vampiric Kisses, and then add whatever flavor you want. I was running Meteorites, but you can go Death Companions if you want more board control. It's an easy win, because you always want to Oton whenever he does Substrike, because you're just going to trade a 3-chi for an 8-chi. And then Chrono Walker are usually the smaller to medium attacks for the board presence.
You want it to survive, right? You don't. I mean, in a pinch, you can Chrono Walker.
You can Chrono Walker a Substrike if you need to, but try to do it on one of the more mediocre attacks. Just Nickel and Dime him. He will run out of resources, as Adam can agree. He ran out of resources both games. So
yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things I took away from the championship to when I had the rematch to when I made the adjustments to the Idris deck, was that you just need to have with that Kun deck being present and being very powerful, that Oten is just the key piece, right?
Yep.
Because in one match you have 3 Otens, you're going to use them. He's just Kun's just coming down across the arena real fast. You're going to need the 3 Otens, right? And if you can take all 3 of those attacks, the chances are you'll have enough time to swing back.
Easily, easily.
And take control of that match. But
If you can own one Substrike, you're in a good position. If you can own two, you're in a really good position. More than that, you've won. You should win.
Which is interesting because if you have the epiphanies, I wonder. Yeah,
I'm interested about the epiphany thing because I have to check because it's weird where he's now spending resources on non-damaging effects. So, and that's what I did.
Only 10 aura. That's like what, 10%?
That's 10%. It's interesting. I'd have to see it. I don't know. I haven't faced it, right?
Yeah. I almost wonder if you're bringing the epiphanies, if you could actually, I know it's not your favorite card, but I wonder to mitigate some of that epiphany draw, you could bring in the thrusts at the swift 4 damage at 6G. And so you could actually have a bit of like a 1-2 combo kind of thing where like you're up close, the Substrike misses, they go for an attack, you threw the thrust to kind of get that damage in.
Try it out.
I know you're not a big fan on thrust, but like because you're bringing in some more HG and you have to sort of move your damage around, I think that 6G spot could really, because he doesn't run any 6Gs right now.
Yeah, and I gotta remember it's thrust and what's the other one? Does thrust have exert on it? Is thrust the one with exert?
Thrust is the one that does have exert on it, but it's only 2 energy. But if you're trying to do your exert with Kun, it's only 2 damage versus the thrust at 4. I don't know. I haven't tried. It's just it's been mulling in my head every once in a while. But
that's the real question. Now that's the real question. Because I agree. I agree. I don't have an answer. It should have been done a while ago. That's how I feel. Well, I agree. When is it going to be reset? It should have been reset. You know what?
It had been reset at the beginning, right? Should we email somebody?
You know, we should stop right now. Everybody should go down to Vegas right now. We burst in the room where Sid's at.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I don't want to know. Hopefully we get another announcement before, I don't know, 10 o'clock tonight.
When did they send it out last time? 10 o'clock?
He was late. But I think that's partly because he got in late, right? So.
All right, sorry, Matt.
Any more word on pillars? You don't have, I don't think that's your call, but
I did. All I can say is I talked to Sid. He said this week was not the week to talk about pillars because he's at Gamma. That's all I can say. But we did have a talk with Sid. So now we're just planning the right time to officially make a statement. So a decision.
So a statement is prepared.
Statement is
prepared, just
yes.
Trying to figure out when to make it. Okay.
Last week was Epiphany. This week is Gamma. Maybe next week, probably not, because Sid will want to probably be exhausted. Plus, we're trying to get Origins started up on the printing run. There's a don't tell anybody.
You just told everybody.
I didn't tell anybody. Nobody. It's just like nobody's watching. Nobody's watching this stream. Thursday night tournaments will be added for April. Nice.
Yeah. He knows I need those foils, so that's doesn't mean I'm going to win, but sounds good. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Is Thursday your availability day? Is that why?
That's kind of my big, like every once in a while I get to go on a Saturday, but you know what it's like. I mean, young kids at home, sometimes it's just tricky, but Thursday nights are my quote unquote guaranteed nights, but I have to still be a good boy, right? So
Fair enough. No, have you yourself done any more testing with the pillars?
Well, outside of what we were doing, because we were starting to look at a little bit of the origin stuff, you know, sort of showcasing, hey, here's what we can do currently, but we also know that origin is a very elemental heavy set, right? Yeah. So focusing on what some of the decks could be coming down the out as well, because we were showcasing a couple of things like that. I mean, I still see so much, just more value in like the summon base decks with running a pillar that have, you know, that extra damage coming through, because over time you're just gaining so much damage from sort of a one-time effect.
Yeah.
Right. As well as other cards. There's so many cards that just are not good cards that become good cards.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. No,
Like
we're on the I know we're on the same page. Like for me,
Yeah.
I don't like how it feels. It just there's no counterplay.
You can't do anything.
You can't do anything about it. That's it. It's just hey, pillar's down. All right, well that's it for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that's the big. I mean, I kind of mentioned this on the last Thursday night too. Is like we players who are playing this at a competitive level will adjust if we have to, and we will make the decks that can beat this or can counter this and can still play at a high level.
But I don't. I want to counter before you go further because I know you got a but. I think, is there a counter to this? It's just something that there's no counterplay. So how do you just continue playing with this is the norm? There is no actual counterplay. Continue.
That was my you stole my thunder.
Sorry, go ahead.
Which is at the end of the day there is no counterplay and it just becomes a very skewed matchup and it's and there's just some colors that can do it much easier and much stronger than others.
Yes.
And that's where the real distribution becomes very much all similar decks because these colors are stronger at doing this element. So we just run that, or the color pairings even, right? Because we have elemental attacks that are not necessarily in the same color pairings anymore because that change sort of happened. Yeah. Yes.
That you're seeing.
It's not wrong. Like it's not wrong, right? Like that is.
Yeah, no,
that could still be stated. Maybe that's one of the announcements.
Maybe it could be. Like as we said, we don't know what the announcement will be. It could be a random announcement through this week. The pillar arms race is the counterplay. It makes it boring. I don't know if it's an arms race. If you both get one, you just both get one. That comes back to my issue with is it's just there's no play there. There's just no play. There's nothing. There's no involvement. There's an alteration that comes on the board, and there's no reason for it to be alteration because it essentially just acts like a spell now that affects the permanency of the game. I wonder if the pillars were to stay permanent. I'm just going to keep it as an if, I guess, without making any declarations. When Origins came out, would we then see only elemental decks? Because Origins is a elemental themed set.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you would always have a element based in your deck.
Very important question. Have you seen Jeff's prediction videos?
Jeff who? Oh, that Jeff. Yeah, I something. Yeah, there's a lot. I got an invite to like his own Discord. Like, I mean, who is this guy? He makes his own Discord, right? Like, it's how like. The video there, I this is all falling apart on me right now because I can't think fast enough. I'm speaking faster than I can think. I love Jeff. So just be clear that there's actually no beef between us and it's all manufactured. And he goes along with it too. But his video was actually like a conversation we had the night before about how it's like, oh, all these slab this and slab that and you know, all this stuff. And it's like, how do you play with a card that's that big and how do you even shuffle it? Way to cover that up. Yeah, it failed. I'm sorry, Jeff. I can't keep it going anymore.
So I think this is the perfect time to introduce our next guest, Jeff. All right, I tried again. It didn't work.
Wow.
All right. You know, sometimes it'll work one of these times.
Wow.
You know.
You are in control though. Like you could do that yourself. You could invite them in and have them waiting in the waiting room and then say, welcome, Jeff. But Jeff has a big interview tonight. If you haven't heard, you know, our boys growing up, getting all big. So I think it's at 8:30 Eastern with Off the Press TCG. Jeff is going to be on that show. You have to say my name 3 times.
Oh, all right.
Ugh.
All right. Say it 3 times, Will.
No, I can't.
Oh,
I've done it before, and the effects were horrible.
Oh no, am I crashing again?
No, you're still here.
I'm still here. Just chat. Can you let me know if it is still going? Because on my side, the stream is frozen.
Uh-oh. Is it because we said Jeff's name?
I think it's because we said Jeff's name.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Now we wait.
have to-
Awkward
do we have to-
silence.
Do we have to end the stream here? We stop talking, and then they go, "Oh, the stream's not working."
He says the
Your
video's
vid-
down, but the audio's good. Oh, boy.
Wow.
We can't have nice things.
Clearly, this whole thing runs on Assad, because it's just, his computer. It's just that mic, that mic and his setup in that room that he's got. It just gives us good vibes, right? Right now, I'm just looking at, I'm assuming that's your bed with your pillow, and maybe.
Wait, I think it's good again. I think we are good again. I think we're good. We're moving again. All right, let us know when we're moving again.
What happens if we stop now?
Now, should we just stay still? No move. Yeah, it's fixed. We're at 8 people. We're just not hitting that 10-person hump. People just don't want prizes.
All right, I'm not sure if so. I think the audio got through there, but if it didn't, Jeff is on Off the Press TCG's stream tonight, and everyone should go support him. Support our boy Jeff with all the great art that he's been doing.
What time is it at? Sorry,
8:30.
8:30. That's perfect. Right after we finish our stream,
go a little washroom break, get a little food, pop on the stream. The announcement was to please the collectors. I predict a limited number alt art signed by artists. Ooh. Oh, more stamps? Ooh.
What's your prediction, Will?
I don't have predictions anymore because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I would never have predicted the foil anniversary cards, but they did say it was for the collectors. So I don't think we're going to see like collector boosters or anything like that. I think I'm probably like some sort of alternate art card, maybe. I don't know what else, or maybe it's even just a grading company has signed on.
Interesting.
Something like that. Like maybe there's an official grading company that's like, okay, we are the official graders for Genesis.
Fair enough. Oh, we did hit. Oh, I was just about to say we hit 10 people and 3 people left.
That's the way we do it.
Well, here. We hit 10 people, so confirm that you were paying attention, or write 10 in the chat, and I'll have those people be a chance to win a prize. Maybe I'll give them a whole prize. I don't know. How many have I got here? Okay, 5.
You just have cards lying around in front of you?
Yeah. All right, type 10 in the chat if you want to win something.
What is it?
They are. You don't want to win stuff, Will. So they are J22 foils. These are test cards. They were yeah. So they're test samples. You do not try to cut the corners and make them look like real cards like last time I gave some of these guys away. I'm gonna sign them. I'm gonna take pictures of them. I'm gonna know each one who has what.
That was so bad. It popped up on eBay, and the corner was cut like they used like a quarter to cut the corner.
Got the food delivery.
Oh.
Do you know what? There was 5 people said 10. I got 5 promos in front of me, so you 5 are each getting them. Done. I guess.
No, we have a heads and tails, and we have a Steve O'Terrell, so I'm not sure which one won. I think the store won.
Well, that's fine. The store can win. Ain't nothing wrong with the store.
All right, I'll be in to buy it off the store.
Yeah. No, they're nothing fancy. You got Tornado Winds, an Inferno Ghoul, a Diabolic Roar, Chain Lightning, and Pine Wad. And essentially, what these were just for to like test the foiling, the new foiling. Which
new foiling. Let's see. Can we see?
Well, it's the same. No, it's the same foil art style, but like the curling process, which I will say, improved 10 times as much.
Nice.
I'm saying 10 times as much.
I mean, my original foils look flat because they stay in a binder the whole time and they don't come out.
I sent you the link, John. If you want to jump in for 10 minutes, you can jump in.
Oh, a wild JC is going to appear?
Yeah, sorry. I'll go back
like
to this.
This is like the Pokemon Arceus version where we can see the JC from really far and we can choose to run up to it or not.
I think I sent them the link. I should write down these people's names, shouldn't I?
You want them? I got them here for you before they disappear.
Yeah, I'm just going to write
Ben.
Yent. This Jeff guy. I don't know about this one.
Jeff. Hassan. Heads or Tails Gaming. Eric. I didn't see Eric before. He jumped in at the end. Just heard type 10. Whoa!
Wow. So I heard before I jumped on some bit of wild Arceus. Are we doing drive-by Pokeballing as well while we're at it? Like, come on, we've all done that in game already, right? We like run up to random Pokemon, bam, you're mine.
Can I say, I think this might be the first time I've seen JC in a buttoned shirt with a collar on it. Are you working, sir?
I was in the office today, so when it's off day, it's usually a formal day.
Oh.
And yes, I do have pants on, if anybody's wondering.
I wasn't, but now I don't think you do, so. And that's not that kind of stream, good sir. This is not that kind of stream.
Oh.
Hey, when our hairs, when I get my hair cut, we are very, very close. I think you still got me a little bit. I have to shave for work, so I don't. One of these Halloweens, we should just do it. The twins.
If you want, let's do this. Like twins, Halloween. We'll go together. We'll look the same.
Just wanted to put that out there. I just said for those 5 winners, please send your shipping addresses to alex@hauntedcastlegaming.com.
Send all your complaints too about the stream tonight to that same email address.
Yeah, I'll redirect them to Sid. He'll be like, "Sid, you can't leave. These are all the complaints we got."
That sounds like what I do at work sometimes. That I just say, it's like, "Hey, I'm dealing with my manager." It's like, "So there's this going on." It's like, you can deal with it. I don't want to. Got to throw someone under the bus, right?
Yep.
That's fair. Oh.
To Chris at HCG? No, Alex.
Well, you should always send your emails to chris@hauntedcastlegaming.com. That's a mandatory. You know what? Send us both. Tag us both in the email, please.
There you go. Oh boy.
And then I can tell Chris to send out the promos. And then Chris will have to confirm with Sid that he's allowed to set out the promos. Can you give
what? I'm not going to see him. Should just pass it through, right?
All right. Just reach on in.
Yeah.
There you go.
I wish I had a card. What a trick!
Wait. Do that again. One more time.
I don't have any cards on me right now. I think they're all back there.
You're right. Wow.
The magic of the internet.
What is dropping now? Somebody just got.
Imagine at 7:05 when we were dealing with technical difficulties, and now to everyone who's stuck around, here we are. You just got that amazing snippet.
Look, he gave me a random demon scrolls.
Epic.
Just sitting on the desk.
Oh, I have an epic here too.
It doesn't belong in a deck. Just on
I have an epic here too, but I think this is a spoiler if I show you this one.
You're muted.
So I can't. What?
Who, me or?
I think it's Alex.
I'm muted. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, his mouth is moving, but nothing's coming out.
Doesn't that happen a lot with him though?
I think so.
Can you hear me now?
What do you think's in that box from Swiss Chalet? Chicken?
Yeah, I'm going chicken. It's not like Swiss Chalet, man. Like, we're gonna get sponsorship by Swiss Chalet now. Is Coke gonna sponsor you? Will I see you
gonna get
Coke
banned?
earlier?
No, I had a undescript beverage. There's Genesis cards in the box. Oh, it looks a little undercooked there, good sir. I wouldn't eat that.
So let's get back on topic. What did I think today, other than like Epiphany being like a standpoint topic and moving over to Foresight?
Foresights, yeah. So do you feel like the exert cost doesn't mitigate the Foresights of Ancients?
I think it mitigates it enough to keep it under control for a while, but once we get into Thymos Axon as an affiliation, once a champion gets pushed, there could be the potential to go off on multiple Foresights as well. Like it'll be higher chi, it'd be a lot of setup, but if someone can find a way to stabilize it, Like
Right.
one of the reasons we have insert on foresight was taken into testing during James. It's like, hey, I'm beside you. Here's a stack building up, and the person I was playing didn't have. They had the counter, but I wasn't in the awareness. And then even after drawing a ton of cards, I ended up drawing my cog restrict anyway. So it's like, you can try to get out of it, but I'm going to cog you anyways.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Absolutely.
You're back.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I always thought that in the back of my mind that the exert cost on the draw mechanic would have been enough to mitigate its use to stop being broken. But you're right. If you get into Thymos, would you
run the adrenaline?
Would you run the adrenaline?
If you can get enough triggers onto that stack, potentially.
Alex, would you run the adrenaline?
Interesting. So I think in comparison, it is more akin to the Rabbit deck that we've been testing for Future League. Without going in details in there, because you were running Epiphany alongside another HE card, right?
Yes.
So it then becomes, what is your win con? Because if you're spending your HEs on both Epiphanies and Adrenalines, you're not leaving a lot of chi for your win con. So what becomes your win con at that point is the question.
In those colors, okay.
I think it turns to chip damage. Like it's a theory I said a long time ago. We can throw support in your high cheese and damaging your low cheese.
Yeah.
Or it will restrict us from pushing a 3, 4, 5 cheat card to be something as well. So that's the other side we gotta look at.
Well, the other side there is what's the advantage of having adrenaline is the next question too. If your 3 or 4 chi is swift, you don't even need adrenaline.
No, you just run the foresight on a mass trigger exploit.
That's true. I love how the stream has gone to like Monty Python levels. And they're quoting it very well, actually.
They are.
I'm not watching it, but I'm sure there's a rabbit involved in there. Which
it just tells us our sort of our age group of who's watching. Because
we got 4 minutes, but we did actually have one more topic that we forgot to go over. We had the pitch contest. The fourth one ended. We had our 3 winners: Lightning Man, Shadow Architect, who I have been told I messed up on Shadow Architect. I'll bring up that mess up in a second. And Slate Pack Hound. So I guess I'll go. I was messaged by the creator of Shadow Architect. He was very upset with me. I by accidentally gave Shadow Architect a base forward awareness.
was it supposed to not have any?
It was not supposed to have any.
Oh.
I don't think he was actually that mad at me. He was just like, hey, did Haunted Castle mean to do this? And I was like, I actually didn't understand what he was asking. Because I thought he was saying, hey, why does Shadow Architect have no awareness? So I was like, why would it need awareness? It's gaining all these awarenesses. And I look up his email, he's to submit things, doesn't have an awareness. I'm like, what are you on about? And then he was just like, it has an awareness. I'm like, oh, it's reverse of what you're saying. But, it's something that adds to it, doesn't actually take anything away. So it's not a detriment to the card in any way.
Yeah.
Make a note. If you're putting no awareness, put awareness none.
Awareness.
Or awareness spot.
Yeah,
I'm going to assume it's forward.
So I built the deck that I had mentioned in Future League, and it has the ability that if I do it correctly, if I have 2 Shadow Architects, they could both be not killable, or basically you can't target them and you can't deal AoE damage to them. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a lot of aura. And so the only way to really put pressure in those colors is with Idris, who also runs off aura. So I think it's a self-check on it.
So when you're using Pixie, Mutinians are I guess we know Pixie. So you're using Pixie and a card that
Perry.
prevents... Oh, Perry.
Perry and the Future League card that is Monkey.
Yes.
So basically it says it can't be targeted and it can't be targeted. It can't be damaged by abilities that don't target it. So you can't do anything to it.
Now those cards have to always stay beside it, correctly?
Right. So basically everything else in the deck is all about moving things around and making sure that they're always able to move and position them. So Shadow's Grasp and Malicious Persuasion, stuff like that. But you sort of turtle, and then I threw in your favorite card, Haunted Catacombs. So I set it all up, and then I just turtle, and then wait till they come to me and see what happens.
Does Shadow Architect, because I don't remember, gain the abilities of champions as well?
No.
Okay.
Awareness as the summons.
The summons.
Summons.
Okay.
In the adjacent spots, right? But I could, if you could put your Haunted Catacombs down, you could beckon onto the Haunted Catacombs with the other ones, and then they would gain it, and they wouldn't be able to be targeted by abilities.
That's fair. I think I guess putting a Haunted Catacombs, and you can put your monkey on it as well.
Yeah, it's a perfect draw,
it's a
but I
decent
mean,
setup.
it's also not a good deck. I'm just trying to showcase what you can do.
It's Yamaraja all over again, where Yamaraja is one of those cards I'm always like, yeah, if I were to play it, I'd play like 1 or 2 as a caveat.
Right.
To the deck.
Yeah.
Shadow Architect really feels that way. It's a great little Voltron card.
That's what it is.
The setup.
I was very sad the other day, but like a couple weeks ago, I was almost in a position where I could have a Yamaraja kill a Lion Mane Rabbit and get the hop ability. I really wanted to do it, and I just couldn't do it. I was very sad.
Why? Why did I create that card? Why did I create a meme of Monty Python?
Yeah, there's some interesting Lightning Man stuff. Like, I think because I know like prevention and stuff like that in the rules and stuff is interesting, right? So because it has the text prevent all damage, and then it heals that much, is sort of unpredictable as far as what it heals. But is there enough counterplay in Origins? By the time we get to Invasions, are we going to care if we have over healing anymore? I don't know.
I don't know.
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, you go ahead.
Lightning Man is overhealing a problem? Potentially. It does, again, we go into that whole Voltron idea. But if we now are looking, because we've been looking at, cards that just outright kill a card.
Right.
It is something there. We have Rebound, which is a very high price war cheat, which might, at this point, if Lightning Man becomes the standard, Axon goes into that instead with its higher aura users. So, yes, it could be a problem, but how much?
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's what. I don't know. So I did the Alta deck, get 2 Lightning Mans down, ping both of your Lightning Mans with your Alta's second ability, and just sort of self-grow and just sort of grows and grows and grows, right? And yeah, we have to see how that works, right? Or they attack each other. The interesting thing is you can actually, it gets around the chain lightning thing, right? Because it always goes back to Lightning Man deals 2 damage to this target. Lightning Man deals 1 damage around that target, which it can then, and this is actually a good question, it can target itself because of that text, right?
yes.
And then Lightning Man deals another 1 damage to a target around the second. So it doesn't have the chain effect that could fall apart because it's always going back to Lightning Man. Right?
I'd just like to say Dr. Wily called. He wants his Robot Master back.
All right, we have one more card. Slate Pack Wolf. And here's a question: do we have enough hounds and wolves in the game to make this playable? And would you play those not very great hounds just to potentially do more damage?
A 5G 2/2, good sir? Yes, I would play that in a heartbeat. The Haunting Hound is still one of the still a great card. It's undervalued, I think.
And it's a good balancer. There's also, I remember back in J, I don't know if you remember this, Will, but there was a card that was in J testing at one point that was very similar to this.
Yeah.
It didn't make the cut at the time, just I guess wasn't appropriate.
J testing?
Yeah, back during Gilera testing.
Oh, I wasn't part of that then. I don't remember.
It's either in Gilera or it was in Race. There was
Race, there was one.
Yeah, so that's probably the one I'm thinking then. But yeah, this has been around. It's been battled around, but
I think people just like tribal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think this is a great lead off into tribal, something that the game needs to get into. We have that there as a element of a card. Why not start using it?
Yeah, we have spiders. We have monkeys. Oh no, we have baboons, monkeys, gorillas, apes. We just pile them all together. They're all
rabbits.
primates.
Primates is what I call them. Oh, rabbits. I don't
Rabbit
tribal. Rabbit tribal. What do you want from your rabbit tribal?
I can't believe that HE card is a rabbit, and that's like, oh my gosh, that was on the Kickstarter.
What's wrong with HE rabbit? We like big rabbits. I like
Yes,
big rabbits, and I
sure.
cannot lie.
There is something about rabbits, but I don't know. I love the card, and because of Future League we don't test actual cards, we test concepts. Sometimes you get used to just the concept and you start wanting to play it, and then all of a sudden it comes out and it's this other thing, right, that you're looking at, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense.
that is probably the hardest challenge sometimes, is that you get used to a concept of being, I don't know if you remember, you were a part of the J testing, right? Will? Yes.
I was not part of J testing. I was just playing and getting into the game at the end of beta, mostly in J. So I got in on the Raise testing.
Did you ever do the event we did at the Heads or Tails where I brought in like the test box of like all the cards in that from J as like a draft?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that getting used to the concept where it's like, hey, I just know a card's in awareness and that's it. It was then you start opening packs like, oh, this is what the card now becomes.
Yeah. Which is actually makes it. I'm excited for Origins because with Raise, I knew every single card before I even opened a pack, and with Origins now, it's like I don't know. I have to make the connection to what the cards are. I know what some of the cards are, and we've seen some of them spoiled. But now it's like when I open this and it's like, oh, I've never seen this creature before. It's like actually a brand new thing, which is kind of a cool way to do the Future League stuff. But
it makes me feel sad for Alex. Every one of my card ideas has some Mega Man affiliation to it when I name the cards. Like, yeah, I got it from this idea.
All right, guys, it is 8:06. We do have to let Jeff have some time before his stream. So we can't keep chatting.
So you're leaving? Bye, Alex.
Bye, Alex. We will talk here all night.
No, well, funny enough, I also have another meeting at 8, but they haven't. I'm surprised they didn't just pop in, but just interrupt the stream. I don't even have waiting room on, so
there you go.
Nothing wrong with that.
So we don't have a fancy. Oh, did I just crash? I think
you're still moving. Don't worry.
I think the stream itself has stopped recording.
Wow.
But sound will still be working. Sid's not here, so we don't have a fancy ending thing. Will, play us off with some music.
That's not me.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys. Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Without moving.